What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I want to talk about the black woman and how real black men should be supporting and protecting black women. Real black men should be protecting the honor of their black woman, right? The honor of their black woman. And you see, the social media power structure has made it so it's very lucrative to disrespect the black woman. Why? It kills several birds with one stone. It gets one portion of the black community fighting against the other portion of the black community, right? It gets a portion of the black community that have been a thorn in the side of white supremacy, which is our powerful, strong black women, right? It also exacerbates issues, you know, human issues, and making it look like it's an inherently black issue. Like this whole modern woman thing, the whole, oh, women are acting, you know, overly aggressive and blah, blah, blah. You see, those things are things that's happening worldwide, right? It's not a black thing. It's not inherently African-American women acting extra masculine or whatever. What's really happening, see, in the real world, so that's why I like really living in the real world, because so many YouTubers live in fantasies and they come up with their opinions and off fantasy, off shit that's not real. What's happening is that women are having an unprecedented amount of agency in this era of human existence. Women are able to be in the workplace. And after 30, I don't know how many years it's been since they've fully joined the workplace, but what we are suffering is a side effect of women in the workplace. Women no longer value really the traditional role of the women staying home, you know, the basic stuff, right? The basic things that we see women. They want to work. They want to be free as human beings and do the things that they see men do, right? It's just what it is. But the problem with that is, the effect of that is that because women now work 40 hours like the men, they're tired like the men, they're stressed like the men, right? They're able to buy property like the men. So even though that's good for women to be able to have their own agency, there is a side effect. There's an unbalancedness happening in Western society. That's why the white population is in an irreversible downturn towards extinction, because they started this shit a long time ago and they're suffering from it. Japan, they got the same issue. China, they call them leftover women after 28. That's it, right? Because women have higher standards because they're now, their reality is higher. So they have higher standards. So what's that's gonna do? That's gonna make it so they're gonna have a hard time finding men. Right? Period. That's just what it is. What's going on, man? That's just what it is. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. That's just what it is. And that's something they got to deal with. They either got to figure out, do they value their job? Do they value working for the man? Or do they value having a relationship and building a family? That's for them to decide. But they made that seem like it's just black people, when it's just a worldwide situation. It's Western culture that we live in that's making it so that we have to go through these things, right? You see, people, they're so narrow-minded in their small little worlds, they can't step back and think about what's really happening on the macro view and see how that affects them, you know, locally, right? And see, thing is, since society has made it popular to disrespect black women, you have black men on the internet who are trying to shame other men, right? Shame other men for protecting or speaking up for black women. They're trying to say that men are weak if they protect the honor of the black woman. But in actuality, the men that come on the internet disrespecting black women, sexualizing black women, fetishizing black women, those are the weak men. Men like me who are strong, who values the most valuable thing for a black man. Let me tell you what's the most valuable thing, should be the most valuable thing for a black man. The safety, security, and honor of his black woman, and the safety and security and honor of his black child. That's what real black men do. Real black men value the safety and security and respect of their black woman, and the safety and security and respect of their black child. You as a black man are supposed to be a warrior. You're supposed to fight and suffer and strain and struggle so that you can create an environment so that your black woman, with all her faults, just like any woman, because if you're a man, you know how women act. And when a woman starts to act like a woman, a man should act like a man and not act like a woman. Because when these feminine ass men come on the internet acting like women, bitching and complaining and arguing about women all day, like a female, all they do is tilt the balance till you have two female energies fighting each other, right? Just like when you got men coming on the internet trying to be tomboys, trying to be more manosphere than the man, they get the balance is off because you got two masculine energies going back and forth. That's the problem. People don't know how to be who they are. Some women don't recognize how to be feminine, like, you know, feminine in a traditional way. Some men don't know how to be masculine in a traditional way, right? But what's not cool, bro, is all these weak ass, sorry ass, fat, short, ugly, weirdo people on the internet, black guys disrespecting and making it cool to disrespect and dishonor their black woman. There is nothing more valuable than a black woman. There's no diamond on this planet that is more precious than a black woman. I don't give a fuck what she does. I don't care what kind of shit comes out of her mouth. She's a woman. They're gonna say shit. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna be irrational. They're not gonna make any sense. And even though you know you're right, they're gonna be right because they have to be right. And you just gotta understand it. It's just what it is. They're gonna be loud and they're not gonna care about what happens in their surroundings. They're not gonna have situational awareness all the time because they're women. That's their nature. Real men understand this and know how to navigate, mold around those type of women. Real men know how to coerce their females to act a certain way. Real men know how to look like men so they can attract these women. I mean, think about it. Black men, we've been hit pretty hard, right? We've been hit pretty hard, you know, in the last couple 100 years. So, you know, who's the manly man on the planet right now? Who's the one dominating, putting their balls and nuts on everybody, right? So it's only natural for women to see that as strength, whether they agree with it or not, right? So if you want to be respected as a black man, have some goddamn balls. For all this energy that all these weak ass, sorry, short, fat, ugly, weirdo black men got, they got no smoke for the white man who put them in this situation. They got no smoke for white people. Matter of fact, most of them ain't got no smokes for dudes, especially in real life. They only argue on the internet, but they couldn't do that shit in person. And half these dudes couldn't argue with the females in real life anyway, because that's how feminine and weak they are, right? But look, I'm trying to train a narrative. It's not cool to disrespect black women. It's not cool to disregard black women's feelings, right? While protecting all the other people's feelings. Y'all don't say nothing about none of the other women, just black women, as if they're the only ones who do any of this stuff. And these weak ass men who just make a living, YouTube will definitely pay you to do that, right? And that just shows the character of a lot of these weak, fat, short, ugly, weirdo, incel ass black men. They're just weak female bitches who complain and get paid for it. So we got all these weak black dudes getting empowered with money to disrespect black women, and that encourage other weak, fat, weird, ugly black dudes to also disrespect black women. Before we got an epidemic, and where shit, if you say one nice thing about black woman, everybody calling you a simp. Well, fuck it, let me be a simp for my black woman. I have no shame in loving and honoring and worshiping my black woman because I came for a black woman. I came from a black woman. Without a black woman, I wouldn't be here, right? The disrespect, like black women are on the forefront of fighting for black liberation on this planet. Yet these black men are disregarding all that because they mad because they can't get no cooch. Because they have not developed themselves as a man to attract a woman. You have to develop yourself as a man. You have to gain resources. You have to gain power, work out, make yourself strong. Make it so when a woman see you, they can see a man who can protect them in times of need. They want to see a man who can finance and take care of the family in times of hardship. If you can't do any of that, you don't even deserve to have a woman. The law of nature says so. They got crabs who dig holes. Whichever male crab got the biggest hole is the one that get the woman. Deer, they grow antlers. Whoever's the strongest, biggest buck and fights, he wins all the daggone dough. That's how it works. Not every man is gonna be an alpha male that's gonna be able to have any woman he wants. You gotta earn that as a man. You have to fight for that as a man. You have to develop that as a man. And just don't think you inherently supposed to get it because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? You're not an alpha. You have to fight to be an alpha. Alphas fight. Look at the lion, right? That lion has to fight his whole life to stay in control of his pride. And when he get weak, guess what? A stronger lion comes and takes him down. That's it. Game over. And most male lions, they don't get to have their own goddamn pride because they weren't strong enough. And that's just nature. And some of you dudes, you just ain't strong enough. So unless you plan on actually making yourself strong and going winning some of these women, then you just a coward on the internet complaining because the lack of your ability to attract a woman, which is your personal problem, you want to project that on everybody else, on a whole group of women who you're not even a viable candidate for. So that's just the way it is, man. Look, Look, I love the black woman. I honor the black woman. And as a Pan-African, I know that there's more black women than black men. And for us African people to get ourselves together institutionally and work together socially, economically, we're gonna need black women. That means we're gonna need black women that like black men. That means we're gonna have black men who know how to be black men, so they can attract these black women. That's just what it is. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just want to say it's not cool disrespecting or denigrating or just disregarding black women as a whole on the internet for money. If you're getting paid, congratulations, you're still a bitch. You have no morals, you have no guidelines, and you have no convictions, you know. But I need for my black YouTubers, my black social media guys who love black women to start being more forceful and start checking these punk ass, bitch ass, short, fat, weird, ugly ass black dudes that make a living off disrespecting black women. If you are truly pro-black, you won't disrespect black women. Now, if there's a black woman that do something egregious, you can address that woman individually, right, with context and nuance. But to overall generalize and disrespect black women, and you think you cool behind your computer with your fucking cigar in your mouth, you ain't nothing but a bitch. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach them. I'm out.